Erwin Kochter.
Yeah, pleasure again to be on stage. Some people are still outside, but I will start to be on time as quick as possible. So we will talk a little bit about the status of the app, the coin listing, the physical hub, virtual IBAN, the debit card, and some interesting news. Maybe some important fact in the beginning before I start with my presentation. So I'm not a networker. I'm not coming from the networking, so this is more or less my first network conference that I'm invited to. So I'm very hyped with the energy, and I'm super happy to have so many people, amazing people in this room. But what is important here when we start the whole idea and when we started the collaboration with Safir, with Ali, to say, okay, what do we need to make this company big? The most important thing is the community. And the community needs to be big to make it strong, to have a strong blockchain. And we wanted to find a way how to make this, how to build this community. And through our idea, maybe you guys know the Gillette model, how Gillette is making money, how Gillette is famous for what they're doing, how the brand increased, how was the strategy behind. So Gillette is not making money with the shavers. Gillette is making money with the blades. So what we did in the beginning was that we said, okay, what is the strategy? What do we want to achieve? What is important for us as Zeniq? And for us as Zeniq, it was important to say, okay, we want to grow, we want to make a strong baseline, and based on that, we want to achieve our visions, our goals. So for us, the hub, the idea, the collaboration also with Safir to make it strong, to grow the community, these are our shaders. The blades for us is the exchange and the tokenization. So these are our blades that we want to achieve that in the future to really grow. But for this we need a strong base. And now a few informations. What we did, what is coming, Crypto Compare. Maybe some of you guys know that CoinMarketCap, Crypto Compare are the two biggest ones. So we are waiting just for a few days, and then you will have our coin and our token listed on Crypto Compare. And the next one is CoinMarketCap. So these are the next few steps for the coin listing. And now something important where there were a few confusions between coin and token. What is the difference? There is a token that we have, which is on the Ethereum blockchain, the Zeniq token, and there is a coin. People are saying, yeah, but this token is not Zeniq because it's on the Ethereum blockchain, so that's why I want quickly to explain the difference between a coin and the token. So the coin is a cryptocurrency, and the coin is also having their own blockchain, and like Bitcoin blockchain, and based on that, there is a cryptocurrency Bitcoin. The token, it's a little bit different. Token is built on a blockchain. Like the Zeniq token is built on the Ethereum blockchain. ERC20 token are built on a blockchain. The token, it's a little bit more flexible, have more possibilities. It's a smart contract, and with a smart contract we can do security token, equity token, utility token, payment token. So there are a lot of possibilities, and this is important to understand because we want to enter now to the tokenization market. And based on this information, you know what is possible to make out of these tokens. You will hear afterwards a few presentations to understand the whole idea a little bit better. We have a Zeniq coin, which is on our Zeniq blockchain. We have a Zeniq token, which is on the Ethereum blockchain. And I said yesterday, because I love this example, I had some guys from Mexico in the office a few weeks ago, and they were asking me, how does it work with the wrapping? I don't understand, please explain me. And then I was trying to give him an explanation, and then he said a very funny sentence, because I told him, look, if you're doing a wrapping, you're taking a coin, you're wrapping it, and then you're able with this wrapping to put it on a different blockchain. This is what we did with the Zeniq token. And he said, aha, okay, I understand wrapping like a taco. Yes. So what we did is, we took the taco, the tortilla, we put our Zeniq coin inside, and then we wrapped it, and it was possible then to go on the Uniswap party with this taco. This is what we did for Ethereum. And now, the next step, we did the same for the Zeniq token 2. The Zeniq token 2 is on the Binance Smart Chain, and based on that, we are now able to go on the next decentralized exchange, and this is PancakeSwap. We are now having a coin and 2 tokens. One token on the Ethereum blockchain and one token on the Binance Smart Chain. Yeah? Now it's amazing because now we can go on CoinMarketCap, on Crypto Compare, to have like USDT. You put Zeniq, and then you see all the coins which belongs to the right company, not invented coins or tokens. So you go, and then you see the window, and you see Zeniq coin, Zeniq token, Ethereum blockchain, Zeniq token, Binance Smart Chain. If you go on our website, it's already the Binance Smart Chain and the PancakeSwap. Just click it, and you come directly to the token. This was yesterday, actually, it was already $1. People went crazy because I told, of course, our 100 top leaders, please try to keep it. It was not possible, of course. I didn't finish the sentence, and I think that the coin was already exploding, and we are now in 190 or so. But yeah, so please, we know that this was, we launched it, we put it on PancakeSwap, we have it on the Ethereum blockchain. You see a big difference. You need to wait. It will be balanced because then the people will try to change Ethereum to the Binance Smart Chain, and then it will be nearly equal in the future. But I think it's a big success, next blockchain, and we want to do it then for another blockchain, and have all these different possibilities and opportunities. Next interesting topic, debit cards, Zeniq debit card. So this was, for me, something I was trying to push as hard as possible, and the goal was to finish this on the 23rd of October, which is my birthday, and this was not planned actually, because it was planned to do it 1 week before the event, but the other was in China, and then in the end it was exactly on my birthday. But I think it's an amazing birthday, thanks for that. Debit card. Here it's important, there are different solutions on the market. There are white label solutions. So for $250,000 you can have a white label solution, but there's always a third party included. And what we want to do is a little bit different than all these white label solutions that I immediately can do. Then I have a Zeniq nice branded card. But what is the different approach from us to other companies, we want to do it by our own, because then we know what is happening, and then we don't have any challenges then in the future that something is going wrong, that maybe there is something in Litauen or nowhere, and then nothing is working. So we are working really hard on our, let's say, own solution, and it looks quite good that until the end of the year we will have let's say a presenting version of the virtual IBAN, and hopefully as soon as possible implemented. And the virtual IBAN is also connected to the debit card. It will work the same way. So when we start our idea in 2018, when our CTO was drinking a nice glass of red wine with me, and he said he had a vision, he wants to do a decentralized exchange in a way that nobody did before. And this last sentence, in a way that nobody did before, was actually the hook, where I said, say this again, in a way that no, I said, okay, you have it. What do we need? And then he was explaining me, yeah, we need to product, we need a hub, and then the hub will be actually the possibility and the opportunity for this blue ocean model to enter a new category, because there is no other device like that on the market. I mean, there will be, we know, it will be copies in the future, and there will be also big companies who will try to do the same, but we have now a big opportunity to grow. And you guys are helping us to grow because of the sales we are able to do what we are doing. We have all this research, all these people. We are, like Michael said, we are growing incredibly fast. Yeah? And based on that, we have the product on the stage where we can do a delivery. We have people, from 400 people. It was a very funny topic because I wanted to deliver 400 products. Because I was, of course, convinced that 400 top people have for sure a physical device. And yeah, 10 days ago, when we said, okay, let's put the software on these 400 devices, before the 1st of October, we checked and then we realized it was just 38 that had the physical out of these 400. I mean, I understand, of course, because as a business and sales guys, I mean, you can immediately calculate, and you know that if you put these 500 euros that you have extra in the housing, you are getting more coins. Of course, invested smarter, that's why you're in the housing house. But the 38 people, we will have a list for these 38 people. We will deliver the product tonight after the gala dinner. And we will have a list, and these are our alpha testers. Yeah, we will have these devices. Then, middle of November, we will do the big, let's say, distribution of the products. The big 38 people, we will have a list. We will bring them room. We will brief them. They will be our alpha testers. Yeah, in these next 10 days, 2 weeks, and so we will have a list outside. So please come afterwards to me, and then we will go through all this information. So we will hang this out, and we'll give you all this additional information. And middle of November, we will do the big distribution and distribute the rest of the physical devices. We have on our features now on the device the minting, full notes is running. We have the display of the current balances, minting display, the front end. Then we have already, of course, the minting ID, the network settings, Zeniq screensaver, and the system for the updates, which is very important because then every time it can be updated and you can choose if you take the new system, the updated one or not. These are now the features which are coming next. Dark mode was strongly recommended by a lot of people. Okay, then we put dark mode. We have our Euro wallet, the Euro coin. There will be a Euro wallet on the device and also on the app. So you can have then the opportunity to send Euro coins from your app. We have the pairing between the Zeniq app and the hub. Address book, notifications, minting to the Zeniq app. This will be a very new implementation. The crypto wallet, then coin swapping function. We will have privacy enhancement, it's a coin mixer with 3-factor authentication, then identity management, and the social backup. And some new options that we can also implement, and we're planning also to work close with our Safir group, which is the biggest community, to have maybe then in the future, after certain implementation, also a kind of a request, so help us to also see what do you need. Yeah? Because of course we can have a good vision, but if the market wants something totally different, we will not survive. So please help us when we're doing it, not say, oh, I'm not interested. This is super important information for us because we want to grow with you guys. We want to deliver something which is needed. Yeah? So this is very important, so please help us on this. The Zeniq app, pairing with the Zeniq hub, we mentioned this already, authentication, exchange of the coins, it will be possible on the device. Staking of the coins, this is something very interesting, but we will talk later, so not too much information now. And direct minting from the hub to the Zeniq app wallet. This is also something interesting. These are just hints to see what we are planning and what is the next that we are working at the moment to deliver an amazing product. Now, another announcement. Of course, we did this already yesterday, and nobody knows, of course, because our 100 leaders didn't mention this, but we will say it again. We have Zeniq Swap. This is very interesting. You can give applause, it's fine. Because this was not mentioned so far, and this is important. It's not the Zeniq exchange which is running on the device. So Zeniq Swap is a second exchange which will be delivered end of the year. So we are working on Zeniq Swap, and Zeniq Swap will be very similar to PancakeSwap or Uniswap. It will be a platform which is running on the Zeniq blockchain, and we will be able to do this because we need a Zeniq Swap exchange to do the tokenization, to change the tokens on the Zeniq blockchain. And then we will hear later a few announcements about new corporations, new companies who are moving from other blockchains to the Zeniq blockchain. Yeah, that's it. Thanks from my side. And I will hand over to Werner.
So, I think absolutely amazing. You really see everything goes forward step by step, exactly how it will be. And you will see today still more of all the things, but I think it's also time now to say big thanks to everybody here who have made it possible. From the Zeniq side, our product provider, thank you again very, very much. Erwin, Michael, Suleiman, and of course all the others in the background, and of course also one guy which you possibly have not seen yet, because he is working also day and night like the others. And I'm very thankful because I know him in the meantime very well here with such a big heart. And you know, I'm typically not a crypto guy, so I had to understand a lot when I was joining all the things because it's our universe. Huh? And he's working such a lot on this, helping in all directions and developing everything what you can imagine. And still you have taken the time to explain me hours long and hours long and hours long how all this blockchain, all this crypto all works. So also a big thank you from heart. A big thank you to Jan Online. So, good, but now we're coming to another topic, marketing strategy of Safir. So a lot of things were prepared over the last weeks and months, and of course now we will have a little bit of insights what will come here next. And of course one very important topic I know for everybody in the room is when we talk about marketing, this is also to do something with support. So when people start coming in, there have to be an answer within 24 hours. So this is how it has to be. So that we are was working very hard because I know that over the last months the service was possibly the support not like it could be, to say it in a nice way. So that means we have worked a lot on it, and this thing is completely solved now. So possibly you have seen around 1.5 weeks ago we have activated the ticketing system within the back office. And we have a very strong team now in the background, professional people, service agents, and possibly you have recognized it already in the last few days. Since yesterday, there is no open ticket anymore. So that means we don't try our everything to answer maximum in a time frame of 48 hours. Of course, it's also for them a little bit hard sometimes because there are so many different languages are coming in. You cannot have every language in place in the background, but everything much more better, and of course gets improvements. Yeah? So also something new will come because possibly you have recognized that around 1.5 to 2 weeks ago we have added an additional security feature to the back office. Already there is the Google Authenticator, which everyone should activate after registration. That's something very important. So a lot of people are not aware how this crypto world works. It's like when you're a fish in the water and you are surrounded with sharks. So to have a strong password and activate the Google Authenticator is very, very important for security. But still, a lot of people have not done it today. Because when you have a password from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where's the security? You can have a perfect system in the background which cannot be hacked, but if you have a password like that, well, the lowest password on the internet. So Google Authenticator are very important. And in addition, 2 weeks ago, we have done a second factor authentication with emails. So that means that someone was not logged in long time anymore through this device, or was never logged inside through this device before, then there is an email coming with a code inside, and the people have to enter the code during the login, and then they log in again. So also very important. And the next thing is the third feature which will be added now for security reasons. So that means, of course, the possibility that you have your vouchers which you can create and redeem. So also there something will be done on a different way. So you got them in your back office, you have there the same menu item, purchase coupon, but this will happen also through the Eurocoin, to the decentralized stablecoin. So that means you click on it, and then you are already on the window. What you have to see, you need your Zeniq app. So that's also the reason everyone should download that. You need your Zeniq app. You scan the codes, which is displayed there, and then the connection is done. This is like also a Google Authenticator. You can see it this way. Only you can do it, nobody else. So because you need a smartphone in the same moment, your app is on it. So when this is done and you have entered amount and everything, you click on Maestro Coins, and immediately you will receive these coins on your wallet. You send it to yourself first. Second, security in the security feature. So then, of course, the next step is that those guy who would like to receive that, very good to send it over, goes on his Zeniq app, adds their Eurocoin, and then it's there. Anyway, there's a list of around 100 coins and tokens. So there is one more, and after that, he gets there and he say receive the QR code and the address. This he forward, of course, to the sender who would like to send him something, and then it's just one click and it's there. 100% secure. Very simple. Of course, it's also important this is a crypto transaction in this case. So what are the fees? So hopefully not the fees like for Ethereum. Hopefully. So we just calculating here the network fees of the technical solutions around, and this will be 0.01 euro. When this will start, when this is activated, this will happen end of November, so around 1 month. So also, of course, how people outside see us as Safir, as a community, we are working on that in addition. And for that reason, possibly you've seen it already, we have activated a few social media channels of Safir, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, the YouTube channel. I don't know if you've seen it all in the meantime. So it was activated just a few days ago, basically from the day on. There will be regular notifications there for the community, and of course also for the world outside, who don't know now what is Safir, what we are doing to get their communication strategy to the fields. Good?
Good. Very good.
So also, when you're not aware of it, we have done a little bit marketing already over the last few months. We found that the most people have recognized that this have something to do with marketing. So that means, for sure you know this video contest what we have done and what we are doing permanently. A few people have asked themselves for what? For what they are doing this? To create massive content in the internet. Massive. And exactly this is happening, and of course those people which are talking about Safir, because they know what it is, will talk about it in a positive way. Only the uninformed communicating sometimes a little bit differently. So, just to get an idea for that, on YouTube, over these last few months were uploaded nearly 10,000 videos about Safir and Zeniq. Nearly 10,000. That's a big number. And so, a lot of people, of course, have sent them also in their videos for the contest. This was around 189 videos what we have got, where you can vote by yourself and the community can vote. Is the good done? Is the communication correct? And we had already 2 winners. And I get minimum one of them is here. I've seen him in the morning already. So you have done the first one, you have done the first contest, and you have won it, 10,000 euro. Also something fine. Something fine to get. It was Dominic Chavas. This was for July, and then of course for August. It was Marcus Doctor. Those for Austria. So for that reason, those videos are in a German language, but of course everyone in the German community can do the same. And then hopefully we'll have it in Hindi, and in this language, and in this language, to get more and more international, and that people get aware which great things we're doing. But just to understand how huge the interest is from the market itself. Not just networkers who want to see what is Safir, want to find out, also from the normal public, let's say like that. You will see now a statistic which is very surprising. You know there are out worldwide are billions of websites, billions of them. Just that you can understand how many people are searching right now for Safir. Worldwide. Globally, we have currently the rank from the website 17,837 from billions of websites all over the world. And of course, out in Germany, we are currently in the rank of 1,757. So there's a lot of awareness, a lot of people are looking for this, that's what they're doing exactly. So there is something, a lot of things moving in a very positive way. So to make our communication even better in different languages, we also will expand the Telegram channels. So here are the addresses. So that means in English, in German, like we have it mainly over the last few months, but there will also get activated Telegram official Safir channel in Spanish language, and of course also in Russian. All my languages, and this is happening today. So this is all available for fast when you people or you send the people to these Telegram channels, this is corporate communication. Because you know there are outside there's so many Telegram channels which have named themselves. Safir, Zeniq, whatever, they just put there something in, and a lot of people don't know that this is a private chat group finally, and then they get possibly a misunderstanding. So there are the official announcements, the official communication. So of course when it's a little bit hard for you to write it down within a minute. Yeah, we've write already down. Yeah? Perfectly. Yeah? But it also works a little bit easier. So Linktree, Safir Global. So you can scan already the QR code if you want, and then you click on it. Then you have a completely overview, Safir website, corporate videos, Telegram groups, the official ones of course. plus all social media channels, Instagram, everything around. When you forward it to someone, then they know these are proofed informations, this is corporates, and then the people are in good hands. Good? Yeah?
Very good.
Also, already activated. So you can scan it, everything is already there. Huh? So, landing pages. You know we have activated already around 1.5 months ago the landing page system in English. So all the videos are in English right now. So you like this landing page system? And I think it looks really professional, that people understand that's something real. And of course also the videos there make it clear, so clear communication with prospects. So they can look at the corporate videos, they can look at the business presentation, it's recorded, so everyone knows afterwards what is fact. Not what someone possibly is telling. What is fact? This is very important for our internal communication, and this of course will get expanded now to what the people are already possibly waiting on it, German, Spanish, Russian language, and this will happen beginning of November. Then also the videos, the business presentation, everything will be also available in these 3 additional languages. Fine?
Good.
So our internal communication, of course, also will be much more better in the future, because you know, in Telegram, also it's the official channel, we cannot put everything in there. Because when someone has a problem, for example, we cannot inform 100,000 people about the problem for one. Also, it would be interesting for them. So for that reason, we need the selection, what you cannot do in the Telegram group. So for that reason, a very short period of time will be activated in the back office. News and tips, with information to all, so you can select their target groups, customers, promoters, all people together, not just people with a specific profile, and then you see their communication from the company, and of course also tips with value for everyone, and this of course is for our internal communication important, because we have a lot of people in our Telegram groups right now, but not everyone. Everyone could be there, but they're not there, so for that reason, here on the back office, of course, everyone can log in, everyone see everything, and all news, everything that is coming up will be announced there, and of course also Facebook and everything, that you know all the time what's going on. Will be activated end of October, so just a few days, and then we also have that in the place. It's also important for us, of course, to increase the knowledge of what we are talking. I know that a lot of you are very experienced in this blockchain world. But of course, when few people are joining, and a lot of people are joining us, it should be the first step to this universe. So there are a lot of space for misinterpretations, for self-interpretations, because everything is a bit complicated in the first few. So for that we also want to have a regular communication to everyone, from people who know exactly how it is, who are connected to the company because they are in the company. So that means they have all the time the newest, the latest informations. So we will start for that reason the corporate calls to corporate webinars, and this on a regular basis. So that means there will be added an additional menu item, events and webinars, where you have multiple filter functions inside, and of course a pop-up window where you click on something. What is the content of this webinar? You can export that, of course, to your Google Calendar, so you get its updates all the time automatically. You see what's going on, in which language something is happening. And then you say, for example, I have a contact somewhere in India, for example, I don't speak Hindi, whatever, I cannot speak with those people directly, then possibly this language will be also already available. You just send your people there, they get official communication there, so it's even better, faster, to build up the international business this way, because you also can show this opportunity, this possibility to people which are not talking your own language. Good? So basically, the main topics will be business presentations, but of course much more than that, also in the direction of training, products and services, how to build up rights. When we talk about building up business, and of course you have seen before our regional directors, these are experts. They have done 30 years long exactly that. So they will make that. So we have there really people with real skills that not just talk about theoretical things, like in so many times, they know exactly what is to do, how it works. And this of course also can help you in addition in your whole team. Yeah? Plus of course question and answers. So there will be regular webinars where just people can answer something, or can question something, get answers. So to really make sure we have the perfect communications and we support you on the best possible way. And this whole thing will also be activated beginning of November. Huh? So then of course a lot of people have asked over the last weeks and months, we have here some tool to speed up the duplication. Social media, whatever. And of course there are a lot of tools outside to do that. So I don't know how many tools I have seen over the last years. Specifically when we talk about social media. So like the miracle, you just push one button, you lay down on your couch and everything is happening. Exactly not like that is happening. So there are very less tools on the market which are really doing that what they promise. So we have looked out a lot for that. We have put it a lot out of the way because it just was nice. But nice, just to have something nice is not enough. It has to be spectacular. And for that reason we have found one tool which I also created for people which I know by myself. These are one of the biggest networks all over the world. So this creates something spectacular, and this is called Invite Pro. Who knows it? So I know that a few people will be happy in the room because they know what it is. I know that very less people know what it is because this tool was just sold to one company in the past and they had it exclusive. So we've taken it away from there now. So, and we will have that. So that means this will create a massive movement. But for that, of course, everything else has to be in place. Whether it's this. Because just great movements, you also have to be able to handle that. Specifically when you push a button like that. What this tool is able to do. So basically, this is also the reason why it works like that. It looks like a game, it feels like a game when you're doing it, but it is not a game. And that's the reason why people like to do it. So this leads to the circumstance that basically everyone who is using this tool, a new prospect who says, I've done my decision, I get started, I make the order or not order, whatever, everyone's free in his own decision, and he's playing this game, let's say like that, 10 to 15 minutes, that on average, all of those people who just have played this game 10 minutes long have afterwards between 20 and 30 real appointments. And this is not something what I just believe or I think, this is proved. It's exactly working like that. Of course, I will not explain now how it's working. This will do exactly in the moment where it's getting activated. But it's absolutely spectacular. And you can do it in events and workshops and physical come-togethers. You can do it in a face-to-face meeting. You can do it in webinars. You not even have to sit together with the people in the same room. So it's very, very strong. And this will come when everything else is on its place. Because we're growing already great. To put now something strong on top. You also can be, how to say, faster like you are yourself. You should be faster like you are to try. So that means everything else in place, and then that will be get activated first quarter 2022. That you know also such things are coming. Good? So correct communication is also very important. And for that, of course, people also have to understand how the internet works. So not technically, how some things are behaving there. For sure you have recognized that there are a few websites, blogs, whatever. We have spoken already before about it. They say it's this, whatever. Huh? I just can say how I do it, or how I handle that, and not even read it. And not read some things like that. Because I don't have to read somewhere else what we are, who we are, because we know who we are. Huh? I think it's clear. Huh? So for that reason, it has for us no relevance, not really, but people not understand how this works in the internet. So basically, when you see there's somewhere a blog or a special website who says this, everything is a business concept. Huh? So they just write you something and they know possibly it's wrong, but it gives them a lot of clicks. Huh? So this, because people want to correct it, they want to write against that, want to say, no, it's this. So they send a lot of traffic there. So this website goes up in the Google ranking finally. So these websites are connected together on the Google ranking, they're coming higher, and they are not even interested on an answer, because they are interested on the money they can earn with that, because when their website goes up in the Google ranking and they have advertising, they get more money for that. Huh? Then of course you have competitors and this and this and this. So it's happening anyway, but of course also sometimes because our communication outside possibly is not perfect. It also cannot be perfect. Huh? But you can increase it. Huh? And for that reason a few things are prepared, which will help us a lot. And for that reason something very special will be activated on the Zeniq websites. And this is a new section, so basically 2 new sections will be activated. Huh? On one section there is displayed all these newspaper articles about us, a lot of them in place already here, for example, in the United Arab Emirates. They're writing about us, as about Zeniq's organization, all the things, absolutely great. And then there will be an additional section, which is called fake news. And on this section, we put there things outside what people sometimes communicate. Screenshots from Telegram chats. Because few people think we don't see that. You don't think that we are all by ourselves in this Telegram group too? Huh? So, we see that. Not everything possibly, but we see a lot. So, screenshots from there. Then, of course, communication in the internet, when other ones are writing about us in a very special way. Huh? So, and then it's not just there to say it's wrong. There's also the clarification on the sites why it's wrong. Huh? So, this is also an educational effect. Not just to say it's wrong, we don't say why it's wrong, how it's correct. It's good? So then, of course, in addition to that, you know, this crypto world, this blockchain world, I have needed a lot of time to really understand it. And I still know that I'm not a crypto expert. Huh? But I've understood I know a lot in the meantime, because there are so many people outside, for sure you know a few of them by yourself. They say about themselves that they are an adopter, a superguru. Huh? And then you ask 3 direct questions back, you know, no, it's not. Huh? So. But anyway, the general education level about crypto, blockchain, whatever, we want also to increase. And for sure you have also seen in this basic milestones in the normal business presentation that on top of that later on will come the bachelor master, which people can do. This is a real study, based of course on these people which are also in the room, so they know exactly how to set something like that up. So to get not just high education, also to create standards in the whole industry. So, but this is not the bachelor study, what we will see here. This is just a step for a lot of people to get a better understanding. So, the people will have the possibility to become a certified promoter. So for everyone who is a leader, it has to be anyway clear, it has to be a certified promoter. It cannot be an uncertified promoter and leader. So how this will work? In the back office will be activated many items, certified promoter, and you click on it, and then there are certain promoter ranks to reach. basically three. This is bronze, silver, and gold. So how that works, when I say, okay, I want to get now my first batch, I want to get this first certified promoter degree, whatever, then you have to go through questions. So this is a multiple choice test, where the people have to answer a high degree of all these questions correctly. And of course, there's also a high learning process inside, because when they click something wrong, it also shows what would be the correct answer. Yeah? So that means 4 categories in total where the people get questions. One is legal, distribution and communication, business ethics, which is super important, and products and services. That means their technical understanding. These are the 4 categories. So when you run through these questions and answer that percentage of right answer questions what we need, then I get this first batch as a certified promoter. Huh? You like it? Who wants to be a certified promoter?
Comme des examens.
Oh, for everyone.
Des questions. Et tu vas avoir.
So that means the first one, what is necessary for that, the promoter of course complies anyway with the general terms and conditions, but the promoter have reached its minimum degree level starter, so before he has got the possibility to do that, and he answered from 30 questions, minimum 24 questions correctly. If he's not able to do that in the first try, then of course you have a second chance and a third chance, and hopefully somehow it will be done. That means first level, it means a basic understanding. Basic understanding from what we are doing. So the next rank, of course, is a little bit more. It's the silver one, and the promoter have reached minimum degree level 3 to get the possibility to do that. And of course, you also have to reach minimum 24 right answers from 30. And then he also have the next one, can download it, can use it also for marketing purposes. Yeah? And the final one is the gold one. And this is possible from the career rank of Safir, and you can do it first time. Also again, 80% of all answers have to be correct. And then I was running through all these questions, basically 90. But basically, what is important when you have goals. So not that you expect that someone is asking me what is the difference between the coin and the token. This is a question for the first week. So gold will be a little bit more tough. So to really make sure that the people have understood what we are doing. So then of course, you can use it because on every batch there's a certified promoter ID. So this is unique, it's just one of it. You can with this ID. You download it, you can use that for purposes of Facebook, whatever. And of course also when you're sending someone the registration link, they see in the same moment, I have to deal here with a certified promoter, it's not someone, I can speak with someone want to register me who know from what he's talking about. As I would like it, it's not possible anymore, but I would like it when my recommender would have the gold view. And then I know this guy can help me because he knows. Good? Yeah? So when we activate at the end of November, so there we have now a little bit of information, and in the next step, we'll make it a little bit more exciting, I would say, from my point of view. When the translations are done to the main languages which are needed for that, then we also connect these badges to the career levels. So that means when you have reached, for example, from your performance and everything around the career rank of gold diamonds, but you not even have bronze. You need those, the performance one and the knowledge to get confirmed this career. You cannot represent thousands and 10,000s of people with no idea what we are talking about. So this will show if you have to read it. But of course, it's not starting Makes sense? Today? So it's starting end of November. You still have time, a little bit, it's workshop road, read a few articles, what it is. If you don't know, but anyway, most of you are very experienced and professionals in this blockchain crypto universe. So, and now, from my point of view, something great, something very great. Possibly it's normally not my part now to present it, because this is a corporation of Zeniq. But I will present it because I know this project very well, I know the guys from this company very well, so I think I can show it to you in a good way. So, and this is a new strategic partnership in Austria, and this will show something what the most people or the most concepts have tried so many times, and they never were able to do it. We will do it now, they are now like a dialogue project. So a great partnership, and this partnership is done with the company Coinway World, which is based in Austria, and you will understand in a few minutes what is the connection there. What is that? What they are doing? So this is basically a loyalty program, which is run from a technology which is mind-blowing. Because basically I'm coming from this industry of loyalty programs, so I have to, from my point of view, good understanding. So this is really done very well. So that means the customer has his app, is scanning, for example, a QR code which is staying on the table. This, in the moment of that, a communication channel is opening between the merchant and the customer, so they have direct communication. So not these typical things what you know from loyalty programs, for example. It's really done on a spectacular way. So and then of course the merchant can give them discounts and whatever. So the whole range of possibilities in this loyalty industry. So for example, like I said before, the customer comes somewhere, sees something on the table, on the door, just scan it, and say boom, 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 and then connect it with the merchant. You know it was here, and then next time I offer, I can put it there, the customer is seeing it, and they know, okay, when they come today to the restaurant, get the pizza today, 10% discount, for example. So direct communication, not the email with global Zukunft. Direct communication with the customers. So this is very spectacular, how they have solved these issues. Also from the perspective of the merchant, it's done very easy. This is the biggest challenge what so many loyalty programs have. It has to be super easy for the merchant. He has no time to make a complicated stuff. Click, 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 that's it. And they have also made it like that. With reports and everything, and now you can enter it completely by its own. So, but what is the connection now between these things? What the most people which are holding cryptos, what they would like to do with them? One side is they would like that the prices are increasing, one thing. And the other thing is, they would like it to use it in their daily life. They would like it to go shopping with crypto. Or? So the food station, the grocery store, whatever, they would like just to use their cryptos for normal shopping. So they have made them in a very specific way because they have all sections settled how a purchase can happen from the customer. The first thing is through their own app. So that means I'm a customer, for example, I have cryptos on my wallet, on my smartphone, I'm coming there, I see, okay, oh, we can pay with cryptos, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever. And so the merchants have on this other side a normal telephone, a normal smartphone. They don't have their estimate device what they need or something like that. This is old way to do something. So the merchant don't even have to buy a journal. They have a smartphone. So they just scan each other paints. 1 second. Other possibility is when you go, for example, in a construction store, where you spend because you want to rebuild your house, whatever, and you spend there 50,000 euro for this and this and this. In the normal case, you don't buy it, pay it there like that, or with the credit card, whatever. So in the normal case, you're getting an invoice. this invoice will be delivered by email, or this invoice will be delivered per post, whatever. So this you also have solved. That means the merchant has his back office. There he can create the invoice based on his systems, creating automatically a QR code and an address. So then he can send an email to the customer or send it the letter per post. The customer gets it, says, oh nice, you can also pay it with crypto, wallet pay. Yeah? And the third thing is, of course, the connection to online shopping. So, of course, with all connections, what is needed for that in a very simple way. So 95% of all existing online shops based on technology can connect to them. So that means paying with cryptos. And of course I know that a lot of merchants would have liked to do that. A lot of them. But there was a reason in the past why they not have done it. It was too complicated. They had the risk, in many cases, when the price of the cryptocurrency is changing, until this exchanges happens, they can win or lose. From the legal side, those concepts where they're in the market, they're completely not clarified. Completely open, is it fine or is it not fine? And of course, how do you do that in your bookkeeping? The people are coming with crypto, how do you put that in your books? They have solved everything. With data reports, everything around. And the most important thing is that legal what they do, because this is the final question of everything, is financial authority in Austria. That's the standard. They are allowed to do it this way. So that means this is one of just 2 companies in all Austria who was able to get that and also make something of it. So to have, of course, with them the connection and the strategic partnership is a great way. But how this partnership looks like? Also, the simple way. The first thing is this company also owns the most crypto ATMs in Austria. So that means, first step, they will implement our Zeniq coin on all these ATMs. It's also done a special way because it will be not the token, it will be a coin. It will be the coin. So that's the first thing, which is great, of course, because then in Austria, for example, people just can go there, could buy their Zeniq coins through the ATM or also make a withdrawal. And the next thing, and of course, this is even more important because it attracts much more people. They, of course, have not such a lot of merchants now. They also just have started. That was up from the normal level. But there is already a good base, and a lot of people which are holding now Zeniq coins and tokens, they also say, it would be great. There are a lot of merchants, also good for their own network possibly, they understand this would work, whatever, and for that reason, trade with Zeniq.
Wow.
All merchants, they are
Sur
connected
l'application
to them.
Coinway World.
Good? So, when this all starts, it's not so far away. Pay with Zeniq and of course also have to do their ATMs. This will happen in November. So, but just to verify, because a lot of people know will ask us in the break, can we do that also in our country? No. Because you need someone who holds this license. And there are not so many of them. And then of course you need this cooperation, a good understanding from those sides, and something like that then is possible. But important is for us, also when you are from Brazil and Austria is far away, important is for us that it's not just that you can say the minted coins can be moved to MetaMask or in the meantime also pancake swap, which is over. So it's real, you can move it to the blockchain. No. In the moment, and also just when it's Austria. Austria is not a big country. Beautiful. But not the biggest one. But under the circumstance that I can go there somewhere in a restaurant and say, okay, here is a coffee, I've ordered it, and I've used for that my Zeniq coins. shows it has to be real. It has to be real, or otherwise this would not be possible. Huh? Great. With this great information, of course, you think we need now the energy. We go to the lunch, we enjoy the food, we enjoy the drinks, and come back with full power, because what we have done until now was great. And it's coming.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. I hope you had a pleasant lunch and enjoyed the view outside. So our next topic is basically about organization. And before we start that, I just want to give you, let's say, a few words about how the UAE is looking forward to tokenize projects over here. So, as you know, blockchain has the power to transform transactions and revolutionize the world as we know it. Just like e-commerce before, and indeed the creation of the internet itself. So the UAE has been an enthusiastic adopter of blockchain technology, with the host now inspiring initiatives across the whole country. The Emirates blockchain strategy stands to save the UAE government 11 billion dirhams in transactions on an annual basis. And that's huge. In addition to this, it is also saving 398 million printed documents annually and 77 million of working hours on an annual basis. And that's just the UAE. So today, leading UAE government organizations are incorporating blockchain technology into their processes, and Zeniq is on a mission to support the Dubai's journey into becoming a fully powered city by blockchain and the happiest city in the world. So from an assessment of market sentiments, and if you ask us how do we know this or how we are approaching this, we have actually done a survey across different sectors, and it was an in-depth interviews with industry stakeholders and regulators who are actively engaging with the blockchain technology, and we found that there is a general consensus that everyone believes in blockchain, and they believe that tokenization presents a growing opportunity for the UAE as one of the technology enablers of the future of finance. So from discussions with government and regulators, anything that enhances the security, that gives more transparency, accessibility of the financial market in the UAE, as long as there is a regulation and there is compliance, then it's welcome and it's supported by the government. So as initiatives across the UAE continue to evolve, the emphasis will gradually shift from developing the regulation to actually developing the ecosystem, which us as Zeniq have already started with the government. So that's also good news. So I'm going to hand over to Michael to give you some insights, and then we will give you even more information about how we're doing this.
Thank you, Salam. Very warm welcome again here at the Safir Global Summit here in the afternoon. I'm talking today now about the definitions of tokenization and about the opportunities, what we can do with it. In general, we are talking about digitalization of assets, of services, of rights. So there are two different types of tokens: fungible tokens and NFTs, non-fungible tokens. So the ones you can use, an example, for construction, to fund the construction of buildings, or to get a particular part of a building, of an ownership. The NFTs, on the other hand, you can use an example to tokenize digital art, because it's a unique piece. Also, this NFT is a unique piece. The whole tokenization will bring liquidity to markets that they have very limited liquidity. For example, gemstones market. It's nice that you have a collection of gemstones, but they're not liquid. You have the opportunity with tokenization then to bring more drive into the whole thing. It gives a lot of flexibility in the whole market. It's extremely secure because it's blockchain based, and at the same time it's extremely transparent because you can view and see every transaction on the blockchain. And it gives, most of all, an alternative opportunity to every one of us, globally, everywhere, to invest projects, ideas, and things you have usually not access. For example, if you live in New York or if you live in Brazil, you have access to tokens, to assets that are, for example, here in the UAE. You have access to everywhere. It's a digital world of something that was not existing before. With Zeniq, we give the opportunity with our blockchain, first of all, to store these kind of tokens there, later on to trade the tokens, and also with our whole tokenization projects, we give the opportunity and we come up with the framework how to do tokenization of every kind of assets. So you can manage all your digital assets with the Zeniq blockchain and infrastructure. This is already what I mentioned. It gives extreme security, extreme transparency, and is extremely fast and extremely efficient to do this type of operations. It already has a worldwide adoption because it's blockchain based and will be, what we believe, a complete game changer in the whole world of economy. According to our mission, a new skyscraper here in Dubai, there are few of those. So if this has a project value of, for example, $100 million, you can tokenize the whole project into 100 million tokens. Therefore, before you have real estate developers, they sold units like offices, like apartments. It was the smallest piece how they can get the project refunded. Now they can tokenize it and sell just $1 single, which means you can have access to an ownership of a building or to a right of a building that was not possible before. Same is for digital art. Everyone who is digital artists, like we had the show on Burj Khalifa, all these digital arts that were there, we can tokenize, we can make an NFT, we can sell it. I will show you later an example of an NFT that was sold in Christie's for a really nice value. Also, you can tokenize any kind of physical assets, any kind of currencies, any kind of IP, because tokenization basically means the token comes with some kind of a right. So imagine if you have here in Dubai an ownership of an apartment, which means you get a title deed of the authority. You are the owner. We can tokenize this title deed. And then the token holder is the owner of the title deed. These kind of regulations are now under construction, and we are helping our authorities to implement these as soon as possible. Even sustainable assets, as Safir is an expert in this, coming from wind, from solar energy, any kind of power that you can get access to everywhere in the world, you can tokenize. All of the public services, like UAE have the goal to bring more than 50% of the public transactions on a blockchain. This is an example, an NFT that was sold in Christie's, a digital art, sold for $69 million. This is just one piece, it's one NFT. Imagine this impact on the whole industry. The World Economic Forum is estimating that by 2027, the whole blockchain, the whole tokenization market will be about $27 trillion. We believe this number is more or less accurate, but it will not be 27, it will be probably 25. So we can tokenize all the financial services, all the public services, most of the commodities, hospitality, tourism, loyalty programs. Basically, you can tokenize the world and make it digital. This is something that is a great opportunity for Zeniq because we provide the infrastructure for all of this to attract other companies who can tokenize with our blockchain, utilize new technology, bring partners in, attract other investors and capital, attract different talents. Basically, it comes with unlimited possibilities because you can make everything digital and make it tradable in real time. This will be something that we believe changes the world and brings Zeniq to the moon, right?
So basically, to summarize what Michael said and what I mentioned earlier in my statement, the next steps for us now to basically carry out, let's say, or realize the tokenization projects is by doing a comprehensive regulation. And this is what we are working on now with the government. Based on that, or let's say also in parallel, what we are doing is raising the awareness. This session today and this event and many other sessions that we keep attending is part of this awareness, basically, and capacity building and making sure everybody understands how tokenization works, how the financial instruments are being changed from the traditional way of how we know it into the new way of digitizing these and making it through the blockchain. Based on that, we can then start creating our digital assets. So these are, to summarize it, the three main steps that we are taking forward. And there are many challenges, we cannot deny it. So for asset tokenization to evolve and scale up into the institutional market, there must be a clear structure and compliance. Without the structure and compliance, things will be randomly done and we cannot achieve things in the right way. So to overcome the challenges, and if you look at how the UAE views tokenization and digitizing of assets, it's basically the public and private sector stakeholders who believe that asset tokenization is something that's going to come in the future, and we have to adapt to it from now on to be one of the early adopters among the other countries. To look at all these challenges and to make sure there is more transparency, we have shifted from the traditional approach, from the way businesses are being done, into a modernized approach through the blockchain and through the Zeniq hub. So this is basically a tool to give you access to all these instruments. Nowadays, if someone wants to launch, let's say, an investment fund or wants to invest in an asset such as digital art or gold or diamond or any other asset which has a very high value, within the new modernized, let's say, digital way of doing it, we are offering any investor, mainly retail investors and not institutional investors, the average person to even be able to invest $100 and realize some return in the future. Addressing these challenges, if I want to take it into different steps, what we have done is our research and development, which started a few years ago, and it's going to be a continuous effort. And then, based on that, we have developed the white paper and the business plan. We are in the process of getting the white paper and business plan reviewed and verified by top consulting firms, by top lawyers, by a panel of advisors. Basically, subject matter experts are giving us feedback and telling us, yes, this is the way to do it, and based on that, we will start launching this. At the same time, we are forming different alliances and strategic partnerships, and then we are entering into a regulatory sandbox. This regulatory sandbox is basically working or tokenizing within a controlled environment where the government will tell us, yes, this is the way you should do it, but let's do it together before we make it public. Once this is done, then we will start kicking off some small pilot projects, test it in the public phase, and then take it publicly for everyone. In summary, the process is basically having all these different assets which are, let's say, eligible for tokenization. We verify the ownership, we make sure this is entered and transparent and very clear that who is the owner of this asset. Based on that, we transfer all the information into the blockchain platform. Once this is done, then we have a valuation for these assets, and then it's launched basically, and the token is offered for investment. It's not as simple as you've seen it. There is a very long, in-depth process of how this is done. There are so many multiple, let's say, parties involved in the value chain. However, the blockchain is always at the center of it to make things easier and faster and more transparent and secure. So what have we done, and what is basically our timeline and where we are today? We started by establishing our tokenization committee in July, which is 3 months ago. Once we had this committee, we started drafting the white paper and taking input from everyone on how tokenization could work, especially within the UAE environment. There are other cities or other countries that have done tokenization, but it doesn't mean that could fit within the UAE context. And this is why we had to draft this white paper. So the white paper was drafted, completed, it's being reviewed and verified, and based on this we will finalize the business plan and adopt a regulatory sort of business plan to enter the sandbox. So hopefully by December we enter the sandbox, we run the project with the government for a couple of months. Once this is approved, then we can roll out the tokenization platform. And obviously this cannot be done without having the right partners and strategic partners and a list of advisors and the right team. So at the center you can see His Highness Sheikh Saeed bin Hashar Maktoum, who is our partner, our shareholder, and he is the biggest supporter who is driving also, Zeniq to become one of the government, let's say, preferred blockchain company for the whole UAE, and then take it regionally and then also take it on a global scale. To do this, we are... So to do this, we are at the heart of the Dubai International Financial Center, which is an international financial center, which gives access not only to the UAE economy, but also for other countries. So this is, for us, is a nice launchpad, we can call it, to even tokenize for other countries. The DFSA is the regulator within the DIFC, who is receiving our business plan and who's working with us to get us into the sandbox. And then we have OCS, who is also our partner and supporting us from the financial side of things. And on the right side, you can see the Dubai Future Foundation. And as the name says, it looks for any future aspirations and how we can make it and how can we realize it here for the UAE to support the government on its mission. And this is basically where we started last year, with the Dubai Future Foundation as the accelerator for Zeniq to be, let's say, reviewed, to be discussed with, to look at what we have and to see how this can add value to the government as well. And this is where we got more access to government decision makers, and this is how basically we reach where we are today. In addition to this, we have the DMCC, where Safir office exists. The MCC has been also a great supporter to us. Now they're working with us on the Dubai standard model to tokenize gold. And so they will be basically the drivers to tokenize gold in the future. And the land department, obviously, to tokenize the real estate projects. So before I conclude, I hope you are all working with us throughout our journey to ensure not only the success of Zeniq or Safir or any company, but the success of everyone. Thank you very much. Please welcome Erwin, who is taking Zeniq to the moon.
I hope you got already an impression what is going on behind the scenes. So it's a lot of work, not just on the blockchain part, but also on the regulatory part, on the legal part, and all these little things that we need for tokenization. And for us, important when we started this journey is that you need the right partners to do such a project. Because it doesn't help if you have the best blockchain team in the world. If you cannot get the regulations, it's not possible. If you don't get the right advisors on board, you don't get this. And so there are so many parts that we have, and we're lucky to have such a, let's say, diversified team that makes this possible. Because there is not just one view, there is a lot of different views, and I think this is one of the reasons why our team is so unique, because we are coming from totally different fields, and we have a totally different approach to some ideas. And then in the end, it's amazing when we are sitting together discussing different topics. We got like a lot of different visions, a lot of different ideas to realize something. And I think this levels the whole team up. Zeniq is going to tokenization. So what was necessary to go to the tokenization? Of course, also the blockchain. So we have the Zeniq blockchain, as we explained. Everybody of you know that, but we are entering to tokenization. So what we did a second layer. So there is the Zeniq blockchain, and on top we have a second layer with a more advanced blockchain. It's called the Zeniq Smart Chain. The Zeniq Smart Chain is an additional chain, which is the second layer of the Zeniq blockchain, and with this chain we are able to produce tokens. Imagine like the ERC20 tokens that we have at the Ethereum blockchain, we are able to do the same with Zeniq. So we can produce Zen20 tokens. We didn't want to invent something totally new. We took the same standards so that people immediately know, okay, with Zen20 I can do exactly this. Yeah, because it's the same standard. So we took the same standard, the same names to make it easier and faster. What is the advantage if we take Ethereum, which is at the moment the leading blockchain in tokenization? We are faster. We are cheaper. So hopefully, when we are starting to tokenize, people will immediately realize, hey, why I'm paying so much fee on the Ethereum blockchain? We all know that from Uniswap. It was super expensive, took ages to do a wrapping. Now we are on a faster chain. Now we can do it cheaper. And so, I mean, this is a direct little battle, and we are hoping that in the future tokenization will be our market. So, with this, I want to take the chance, because important is for us our community. The bigger the community, the more power we have. And this is also one of the reasons the open source. I mean, maybe you've heard about it. Of course, if you have an amazing idea, if you have amazing developers who have like the professionalism and experience to produce like this, like our team is since over 10 years in the blockchain industry, doing exchanges, payment solutions. They program nearly everything. And then you have an amazing idea, and then the big players are coming, Fakam, Binance, all these big players. They say, amazing idea, copy, paste, open source, done. We didn't want this. Of course, we want to be open source. This is for us, we want to be decentralized. This is the core. This is why we are here. This is our vision. So what we will do now, the goal was to grow the community, to bring projects on board, to be even bigger. And so I want to announce now two partners who are moving from other blockchains to our blockchain to make a bigger community. So I will start with the first one, and a little bit later the second one. The first one, I will give you just a small intro and a nice video to get a little bit of a feeling of what would be possible. You heard from Michael already what tokenization can do. And afterwards, I will bring a friend on stage, a representative of Tupa. So enjoy the video.
atmosphere now is 50% higher than it was in 1990. And not only are we piling in more and more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, but we're chopping down forests for the earth that are great things. And the forests themselves are going to be efficient consumers of carbon dioxide on Earth. We're going to destroy the ground because the soil of a rainforest isn't very good. We are actually tampering with the climate of the earth and the very atmosphere that we breathe. When we talk about the disappearance of the ozone layer, we don't know what will happen when the ozone layer goes. The world has become so fragile that we cannot subject the earth to the tortures we can now inflict upon it. When we talk about the greenhouse effect, we're talking about something that affects the entire earth. And these problems are as problems that go to the root of the viability of the planet itself. So there's one thing that is biologically certain about the human species is that it is a human species, one species. If we won't stop the destruction of our natural ecosystem, simply put, if we don't protect nature, we can't protect ourselves. The only way we can solve a problem is by a human solution. Never can we sit back and wait for miracles to save us. Miracles don't happen. Sweat happens. Efforts happens. Thought happens.
So big applause, please. What does it mean now? Tupan, it's a token which is on the Wave blockchain. The Wave will be not happy, but Tupan is moving now to the Zeniq smart chain. We are working on the implementation, and I'm hopefully we are working on the implementation. Hopefully, end of the year, we will have this on the Zeniq smart chain. I'm very happy to have such a strong partner, and our innovation advisor and manager, Ellen, was actually the lead to make this project happen. And so I will make the stage free for Ellen Zellman.
So everybody knows that there is a problem. Did you ever thought how to solve it? Are you doing something for it? What are you doing for the next generations? You investing to set up something for your kids, for the kids of your kids. It's difficult, but we have a solution. Tupan will provide an integral solution. I will show you how. This is the first regulated, recognized by the SEC token, full backed by assets. Please, a big applause. You may hear about the 17 SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. These are part of the big work of a lot of nations. They stick together to provide a solution for the problems which the video before was presented. So, but why it's so difficult to implement it and to see that the climate change and all these bad things which are affecting our planet are not recovering, are not getting better. Sustainability is just getting the same level as we got the Earth. We need to start talking about regeneration. So this concept from Tupan integrate the 17 SDGs and provide an integral solution, and also connect the old world with the new world. What do I mean with this? We have the market, which is growing with a certain pace, but this is the traditional market. This is what we keep talking the last 200 years. Now we got the possibility to enter a new world, and this is the decentralized financial system, which is growing way faster than what we can imagine. So who want to be part of it? I can hear it. Who wants to be part of it? So now we want to make it possible to get a token where you will be able to keep it in your wallets, to transact it in the exchange. And also, I will show you how they reinvest in the bioeconomy. The basic of the asset-backed tokens is that you need to have a land. So, what this project did is took the land, did an NFT, brought it to the SEC in the United States, make it real, make it regulated, and showed how we can tokenize even a protected region as the Amazonians. So everyone is talking about tokenization, but they even tokenize Amazonians, and not to do profit on it, to reinvest all these earnings in the bioeconomy of the region, to regenerate the region. How it works? We have preserved areas, and they are tokenized. As you see, 1 square meter is not just a flat square meter, it's a cubic meter, based on the formula which the United Nations use to put you a fine if you are burning the country, burning the land. They reverse engineer this formula and make cost benefit model for the region. They generate 3.6 billion tokens, which are taking care of this region, and reinvesting 50% of the total sales of this token in the bioeconomy of the region, the social projects, and also the environmental projects. This is Tupan. I'm honored now to call on the stage Mr. Oterri Ferriani, CEO and founder of Tupan.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's an honor to be here, and my pleasure with this huge presentation. Let's go forward.
We will present something else. As Erwin mentioned before, Tupan announced to come from the Waves blockchain to the Zeniq blockchain, and we will present publicly now is cooperation. I invite also Mr. CEO Erwin and the future of the future.
My microphone is working. Thanks, Odalie. So it's a huge pleasure, and I spent, let's say, the last months a lot of hours working with Odalie on this collaboration, and I'm so honored and so happy to have him on my side and to work on sustainability in documentation. I mean, it's for me incredible what we can do with this technology, and I'm really overwhelmed to have this opportunity to not just do good things, also help our environment to be healthy, not just from the body, but also that our next generations will find a happy and sustainable, safe, amazing country like this. Okay, thanks for this.
Ils ont migré sur notre blockchain. Et nous, et après, d'ici la fin de l'année, il marque connexion, mais bientôt, on va pouvoir enregistrer. Et derrière, on va expliquer tous les bénéfices de cette place, redistribuer pour l'Amazonie, aussi bien pour l'environnement que pour les gens qui habitent là-bas, pour le social.